Ahoy, hoy, I'm Pavo.
And I'm Neil.
And welcome to That's No Moon.
It's a podcast.
It's your weekly digest of all the Star Wars news you need to know. Now, this is going to be a two-weekly digest of all the news you need to know.
Yeah, we had another sickness.
I was poorly last week.
He was a poorly boy.
I was a poorly boy. I had an injection and I think I reacted a little bit badly to it.
So we sprouted hairs.
I haven't got... Well, the only place I haven't got hairs is the place where I should have hairs, which is on my head. I've got it everywhere else. But that's really... If you're coming into a Star Wars show, you really don't want to know the status of my hairs.
It's like the Scarlet Pit.
It is. Nice. That's well done. Very good. Okay, so we've got some stories. Neil is going to run through them, and then we've got a few questions from some of our listeners and watchers.
Right, then, here we go. According to reports, there will be no presence at the San Diego Comic-Con with Star Wars, but this is only a rumour at the moment. It's saying that they will now be revealing more stuff from The Last Jedi at D23. Rian Johnson has also confirmed that he will be there at the D23. So, what are you thinking we will see at D23, Pav?
Right, we had a little bit of a conversation about this yesterday, didn't we? A little bit of a heated conversation, because you were saying that, there's not going to be nothing.
No, you went, no, that was in the video. I said that I thought there would be another trailer. That's what I said.
Right, and I think if it goes the same way it's been the last 2 years, it'll be some behind-the-scenes footage, following by a trailer. It'll be in September time, I think.
Right. Do you think there'll be a Han Solo presence at D23?
You know what? No, because they're doing their reshoots and everything now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Unless they do some kind of
introduction to Ron Howard,
or there'll be some. Oh, we've got a little bit of film from Ron Howard, and he'll be on the set going, "Hi guys."
How did you go?
Hi guys. I think that because it'd be nice that they do almost sort of way of calming the troops.
Yeah.
So that they sort of everything's fine, everything's great. Maybe Woody Harrelson and Alden Ehrenreich could be with him or something to say, look, yeah, guys, everything's fantastic, everything's great, everything's going smoothly.
I think that's what they'll do. I mean, it was rumoured before all of this kicked up that was what D23 was mainly going to be, more than The Last Jedi. But it's interesting to see Rian Johnson's now turning up at D23, whereas the Star Wars convention was so close, wasn't it? So close before. So,
but I also think that there's going to be some kind of announcement. There will be some big announcement. So whether it's going to be the name of another standalone movie, maybe, because the Han Solo movie at the moment is the only one is confirmed, isn't it?
Yeah, there is, and obviously Episode 9, which they've been doing some little read.
I think it's going to. The trouble is, as we've done before, we did for Star Wars Celebration last year, and we did for this year. We kept saying, "Oh, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to do this," and they do hardly any of it, and they don't need to. They just, I mean, I think it'd be nice to see some kind of footage from The Last Jedi, because we are less than half a year away from it now.
Half a world away.
Yeah.
So, more rumours abound that the Han Solo movie would be pushed back to 2019, but with the release date of the 25th of May 2018 still in place at the moment, it is being suggested by Brit fanatics that the Lego Star Wars range for the Han Solo movie will launch on April the 20th, 2018. So that means they're saying that it will stay the same. Any takes on this, that they were going to push it back?
I don't see any reason why it's going to...
Because he's not... there's been all these rumours, and they're still flying now, aren't they, if you read them, that Alden Ehrenreich is awful, and they're having to reshoot the whole movie. Have you seen all these
I don't think that's true.
I can't see anybody allowing that to happen with the cost. I don't think that's true.
I think... when they're saying about the fact that they've brought in an acting coach for Alden Ehrenreich, I'm pretty sure that they do that for a lot of movies. It's not necessarily because of his...
Well, when they say an acting coach, it might be that he needs help with a certain scene.
Or it's the dialect. They're trying to get him to sound a little bit like Harrison Ford, maybe.
Or he has to speak alien, and he can't get to grips with what it is.
Maybe.
He's speaking to one of the alien races in there. They quite often do that, don't they? With the and have subtitles underneath. Maybe he can't get to grips. But with the rumours of this, it will sort of be knocked on the head a little bit, I think.
But they've said that there's a lot of the footage that Lord and Miller have shot is good, and they're going to use it. I think I don't think the story isn't going to particularly change. It's just going to be the tone of it, maybe.
Yeah.
And they've got 7 or 8 weeks of shooting that they can do. Excuse me, with the reshoots. So I think it was a massive thing at the time, and I still think that they need to bring out some kind of little trailer, or it's just to still calm, like I said about the previous one, just to calm things down. But I think it's going to be fine. I think it's going to be May time.
Yeah. Well, be interesting anyway. So, Star Wars, Forces of Destiny. These animated shorts are being released on YouTube at the moment with I think it's the 6th episode has just dropped now.
Right, okay.
It might be 7th. They are canon shorts and feature the vocal talents of Daisy Ridley, to name but one. So have you been watching them?
I have, yes.
I mean, I've only watched 3 because I need to catch up with the rest, and I went to do that last night, as I said. Had a problem with YouTube last night. I could not get it to load. They're okay. I mean, when they're shorts, they are short. I did find them a little bit kiddie-ish.
But I think there are some episodes of Rebels and Clone Wars that I find a little bit kiddie-ish.
Right.
But what I do like about them is, and I heard this on another podcast that somebody said this, that they are a little bit like when you had your action figures. So when you played with your action figures, you were filling in some of the bits
story,
in between.
Yeah.
So between, like, say, Empire and Jedi, and you had your action figures, you'd be working out how they got from one part to the other.
Absolutely, creating your own story.
So like the one with Princess Leia and Wicket, the Ewok, and the journey from when they meet to how she managed to get the dress, I thought was really, really clever.
That's quite sweet.
The Wampa.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen the Wampa, although the bit that Chewie is involved in with that, I sort of look at it and think, hang on a minute. No, I think Chewie would. Anyway, but I have a look at it. I don't want to ruin it.
I mean, they're good fun. I like I said, the first 3 are a little bit kiddie fun. The ones with Daisy Ridley doing the voices. I didn't think her voice came out particularly well in it either.
No, it did. It sounded like she was reading it.
Yeah,
that was the thing, and it didn't sound like it was. It didn't sound particularly natural. I do like the animation style, because that reminds me a lot of the original Clone Wars, the first, that Jenny Tartakovsky, whatever his name is, who does like Dexter's Laboratory and all that. I love that. I love that sort of style. So I do like that. But yeah, it's good because they're concentrating on the ladies. Yeah. And it's nice that they're filling in just tiny little pieces here and there, and it's it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, they are just sweet. I mean, that's what they are, aren't they? I found the BB-8 little ones quite amusing. Quite that weird creature under the ground.
Yeah.
Tremors, that reminded me of. Do you remember Tremors?
Yes,
anyway.
I do.
Ron Howard tweeted a picture recently from the editing room of the Han Solo movie. Nothing was really shown, but it was been confirmed that shooting has recommenced on the project. Now, this would appear then that it is established that he's working out what material he's got before he starts shooting what's left. So he's editing with theirs, isn't he? Going through their stock footage that they've already filmed. That would, to me, this is why I said it all changes with what other people are still saying, is that they are going to use the footage they've already shot and re-edit.
Well, it would be stupid for them to not, if they've been shooting since January, February.
You can't,
for them to turn around and say, well, we're not going to use any of that footage would make absolutely no sense whatsoever.
But also as well, like we said, it's financial. I wonder how many weeks of reshoots or shooting he's going to get. Because obviously when they come up for the reshoots and all that.
Well, there was 3 weeks of shooting left,
wasn't it?
And then they had 5 weeks apparently of reshoots. So in theory, if that's the way that they're looking at it, you're looking at 8 weeks.
Be interesting. But like you said,
if you're looking at is a couple of months. So.
And what's dropped today, I mean, I haven't got a picture to show you. He has tweeted a picture of a costume, hasn't he, today?
Oh, right, okay.
One of the costumes from the Han Solo sets. He hasn't said whose it is or anything, but just to say, if you want to go online and have a look, there's many pictures of it out there. It's not really that exciting, but,
no, but
at least it's dribbling you information again, isn't it?
And then, and like we said at the start of the show, until they start giving us a little bit of footage, whether it's Lord and Miller's footage or it's footage that he's filmed, we're not going to gauge. I did see TMZ had some pictures.
Oh, the on-set.
On-set.
I thought they looked quite good.
It looked all right,
like he was,
But it's in context. You can't really. It
can't
wasn't a
see
fantastic picture.
You could just about make out the costumes, didn't you?
Yeah,
and it just looked like they were in. They were, like you said, they were in the style of what we would expect them to be.
Yeah, but until we start, I really want to just see a bit of footage, just like a teaser trailer or something like that. Just something that we can devour a little bit.
Well, they're going to have to release something soon, being that if it's still going to be May next year, that's closing down quick.
Exactly.
So,
well, you're looking at it's under a year now, isn't it? And normally you get a teaser trailer around about a year out. But okay,
is it questions time?
We're going to have some questions. I put out on a Facebook group, podcasts we listen to, which is a fantastic. If you're a podcaster, go on that group. It's a fantastic group because.
So how would they find this group?
It's on Facebook.
Right.
Just put in the groups podcasts that we like or podcasts that we listen to. One of the two. Right. And if you're a podcaster and you want to ask any kind of question, it's fantastic, or any kind of support that you want. It's brilliant. So I put a little shout out on there. So we've got David Ginsberg, or it might be Ginsberg. He gave us a little question.
Okay.
Regarding Star Wars, what's your favourite alien race and your favourite starfighter, i.e. an X-Wing, A-Wing, TIE fighter?
So my favourite alien race, when I was younger, I used to love the Ewoks.
Did you?
Yeah, I did, I thought. But I still, and did back then as well, also have a fondness for Chewie, so the Wookiees. And I probably would stick with the Wookiees, to be fair, just because of nostalgia-wise. I really like him. I think he's cool.
Okay. I was always partial to the Jawas.
Okay.
Yeah.
You like the glowing eyes.
It's just the fact that they all look exactly the same. They all sound exactly the same. So you can imagine
They'd
that
be
it's
handy
just
to have round because they fix things for you.
But it's not just that. You can imagine that their life is just like one big orgy. They just do it with
Jawa orgy.
Yeah, because there's no one can see any difference between them.
But you don't even know if they got genitalia.
Oh, they must have.
They might just spawn rather than.
They might do. They might go,
"OTD!"
when spits out.
Exactly the same.
These little glowing eyes.
Be interesting to see what one looks like underneath. Because even when we first had the toys, you couldn't see anything in the toy. There was nothing to see. I'd love to see inside a Jawa. I want to see a Jawa. I'm going to dissect one.
And I'm going to go for an X-Wing for a starfighter because just the design of it. I often, even now, sort of 40 years on, I will look at pictures of things like the Millennium Falcon and any of the ships and think just what fantastic design they are, how unique they look, and just how cool they look.
I have to agree. The Millennium Falcon is cool and everything like that, but I love the AT-AT.
Yeah,
yeah.
But that's not a starfighter, though.
No, it's not. But I'm just diving.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no. Well,
answering the questions, you've got to answer.
No, all right. It'll be a TIE fighter or an X-wing. X-wing, it's got to be, hasn't it?
X-wing.
Yeah, but I'm just going to go on to vehicles of Star Wars. I know I was leading on, but like the AT-ATs, I still get excited when I see them, like on the trailers and when they were in Rogue One. I'm still excited because of the toys, and I saw the video of the trailer for that toy, and I was so gutted because I want to know where mine's gone.
I know, I had one as well. The practical design of those as a weapon is pretty crap, though.
Yeah, but then a lot of
one little move and it's gonna once it's on its side, there's no way it's getting back up again, is it?
Well, those walkers are worse, aren't they? With the 2 legs.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But that's a lot of the Star Wars sort of vehicles have got to be a bit useless in that sense. Because I always thought, like, Luke's Sandspeeder thing, I was like, well, what if they're shooting across and there was a boulder? You're screwed.
They are, yeah, you are. But then would you be? Because it's got some kind of magnetic field underneath. Wouldn't it just sort of roll over the boulder, surely?
Don't know. Would it not react? What if it's iron core?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you're all different ball game now.
You're getting too technical for me now. Our good friend Timothy McMahon from the Less Than 12 Parsecs podcast when he gave us his long list of questions, I picked one from him. He says, I think a live-action Star Wars television show is a bad idea. Convince me I'm wrong.
It depends how they do it. All right, this is how I'm going to convince you if they're wrong. We've spoken before. If they were to do a TV series of the Old Republic and something like that, and went R-rated, I'm going to reference Game of Thrones like we have done before. I think we could be convinced that there is a superb series out there. If they go childlike and do a TV series in that vein, I think it will.
What, like at Home with the Ewoks or something like that?
Yeah, or they do. It's a bit like the Marvel TV series, right? So if you watch the Netflix Marvel TV series, they've all been pretty good. Okay, the Daredevil series 2 I think is some of the best TV you'll ever see. But then on the second thing, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I think is really poor, and I've tried to dip back into it, and I'm still finding it very poor. So if they did that with Star Wars and they went the route of being like Daredevil, I think that's fine. Not in story-wise, but in the content and adult and being grown up. But if they did it at Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where it's like family-friendly and everything like that, I think it become very staid and boring. Needs to be something new in the Star Wars world.
I think the idea that they had before of the... because like they had like 100 episodes planned out for the Star Wars underworld,
That's
didn't they?
right,
Where it was
yeah.
all about the sort of like the seedy world of Coruscant, or whatever, and the bounty hunters and stuff like that. I mean, that could work, but I would like to see something where it goes right back.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because I think it would, with the
Be
politics of
something
it
new.
all and the birth of the Sith and the Jedi and them fighting for power. I think it would be very, very interesting.
And it would be mystical as well to watch. And I mean that in a really good way. You know, when you watch the Game of Thrones, I know I'm referencing it again, but you're watching it, you're not bothered by flying dragons. It's all integral to it.
Yeah.
Whereas normally you see that sort of fantasy, and sometimes I can think, oh God, that's lost me now.
Well, it's like Harry Potter's the same thing, isn't it? It's if you give yourself into that universe, and if they can make it so that everything seems believable and lived in, then you'll accept pretty much anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I know what you mean. Sometimes you'll see these things, and it's a lot of the vampire things that you see on TV now, and they've got all of a sudden got these mystical things, and you think, well, that's just been put in because other shows have done that, and it doesn't work. For me, it doesn't work.
Yeah, I could. So to convince you, if you wanted to invest in that sort of program, the Old Republic, the start of all of the universe of Star Wars, I think would be I think
because I think it also then they can do what they want, because whatever they do isn't gonna mess up the future timeline or canon.
No, exactly.
You know, whereas like you say with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that I'm sure they've got to be careful that.
Absolutely, they are.
And also, then you think, well, hang on a minute. If all this stuff is going on in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., then why isn't the Avengers coming in to help them? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it would only take one of them to come in and kick ass.
But that's the problem when you've got it in the same timeline as that. If you've got it from thousands of years ago, I think
they don't even need to really reference the new Star Wars, the current Star Wars or anything.
No.
If they write back, you can have what feels very Star Warsy, but it'd be nice to have that adult touch, I think.
I think so. You'd like an adult touch, wouldn't you?
Well, maybe.
Right, our final question. Now, this is from Ember Hammond from Utah.
That's a great name.
Isn't it? Now, she is a co-host for a podcast called Colour Me Dead. Now, I listened to this today. When Ember sent us this question, I thought I'd have a little listen. And it is fantastic.
Is it?
I will say, I've sent them put a review on iTunes. It's a true crime podcast,
right?
But they go into detail, and they're not. They don't. It's Ember and Angel, I think is the other young lady's name. But it's refreshing because they're effing and blinding, but they're 1 minute talking about a murder scene, and then the next minute they're talking about when they're at a festival and they're sticking their fingers down the assholes of other men and women that are going down this festival. So it's very funny, but it's also it's a grim subject matter,
right?
But I thought it was very refreshing with the fact that they don't apologise for the fact that they know that they're going to upset a few people with the way that they are and stuff. I really enjoyed it. I'm only two podcasts in, But I've subscribed.
What was it again?
It's called Colour Me Dead podcast.
Excellent. I shall check
with
that out.
Ember and Angel. I'm sure Angel is. Apologies if I've got that wrong. Right, so she sent me a load of questions, but I've picked one of them. Sith versus Jedi, which one and why? Very simple.
Sith versus Jedi, which one and why?
There you go.
Personally, well, one can't survive without the other. We've spoken about this.
We have, but if you had to choose a side...
When I went to the Star Wars Identities, I ended up going the side of the Sith.
Right.
Just because every little critter that was coming through was going Jedi, and I thought, I want to be different. But deep down, I'd want to be a Jedi. I think so. I think I rock a robe.
Well, Sith wear robes.
Yeah, but like a lighter coloured robe.
My only thing is that
although black is very slimmy.
When I saw that question, the first thing I thought of was the line from the Billy Joel song "Only the Good Die Young," when he says, "I'd rather laugh with the sinners than cry with the saints." That sinners are much more fun. You can imagine that it'd be a lot more fun to be a Sith because they can be evil and they can do what they want, whereas the Jedi are very set in their ways, and they have rules they have to follow.
They say this, don't they? But it's a bit like other sort of unities of choice. Yeah, I'll be careful how I word
Yeah,
this.
I think you should.
You know, you can't tell me that somebody does nothing and not have fun. It's human nature to have fun. So if you got the Jedi powers, the person you have fun with,
well, yeah, but when you look at,
that's not the prostitute I slept with.
Yeah, but if you look at the prequel trilogy, there isn't a single Jedi there that's having a whale of a time. They all look very
miserable.
Subdued. Yeah,
but
exactly. They all look very staid
but that's a select few.
And boring. Well, no, that's
we haven't been out on a night out with them. We didn't go out. We should have been on a proper night out.
Well, yeah, but even when Obi-Wan Kenobi goes into the nightclub in Attack of the Clones and he says, "What are you doing?" "I'm going for a drink." He doesn't exactly go and start like.
Yeah, but he's only one drink in, and then he gets disrupted.
Starts dancing.
He gets interrupted, doesn't he? The disruption starts. He doesn't have more than one. I mean, nobody goes into a bar and sips their first drink and starts dancing.
I'm just watching myself on the live feed dancing.
You know, it doesn't happen, does it? You need that. You need a few. And when he says, you know, that persuades in Attack of the Clones that guy not to sell him the death sticks, he's really thinking, "I'll see you outside, mate."
Well, there you go. Sarah Jane Wilson just said Sith 100%. I think the majority of people, if they had a choice, would decide to go with Sith. But I just got a funny feeling that because I think it feels more fun. I think practically, and if you was looking at it with a level mind, I think everybody would say Jedi. But I think you'd have more fun.
Well, I personally genuinely think the Jedi have more fun than we were led to believe in the prequels. Who's to say we don't? We don't know what Luke has been doing on that island. Man, he's probably been absolutely mashed out of his mind.
You reckon?
Yeah, because he's lost all those other people where Kylo Ren's destroyed. Okay, he's thought. We
assume, yeah.
Right. So then he's stuck on that island on his own. I bet he's on some sort of Tinder, getting people flown in. He's having wild parties.
But nobody's able to find him.
Well, they say that.
The rebels have tried to find him for like years and years and years. Yeah, but you say that,
but we all know how good these cold callers are.
Well, they may well be, but...
No, I mean...
He's calling the odd Jawa to come in.
Come on, Jawa, let's see you without your robes on.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, all in the hot tub together. What stays on that island? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's why he was stood at the top of that island. He was just waving the last batch off.
It's not Yoda on top of that rock. It's a naked Jawa. Okay?
Oh,
yeah, he's about to dive bomb in.
Do you think?
Ah, you see, I know it.
Well, you know, that's it.
Yeah, that's all I can say. I just think the Jedi get a bad rap for being boring, and I don't think they genuinely are. I don't think anybody can be that boring and not do it. Like I said. And also, who cares? They've both got the same sort of powers, haven't they?
Well, it's like you say, you couldn't get rid of one of them without the others, because then there is no balance to the Force.
Could you hop from one to the other? Could you be a Sith?
Count Dooku did. Count Dooku was a Jedi and then became a Sith. So.
No, but could you be a Sith and then become a Jedi?
you could argue that Anakin Skywalker did at the end of Return of the Jedi because he killed the Emperor.
Could you keep going back and forth? You could it could be like you go to the Sith and you party hard, right? So you have your 6 months of partying hard with the Sith, and then you go back to the Jedi to have 6 months rehabilitation.
Yeah, I think that would be too much like playing for Liverpool and then playing for Man United, then going back to Liverpool.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
it's
a different. The way I'm looking at it is, you party for 6 months with the Sith, you go back and it's like your rehab being a Jedi. It's like your detox.
I don't
get rid of all those.
I don't think you could do that. I don't think your body would, or your mind would get too mangled.
Well, you're already mangled on death sticks, all right?
Nah, I can't see it working. I will not allow it. No, I'm sorry.
Just a thought. I'm not saying you can.
I can't see how that would work. So I'm saying no. I'm saying no to that.
What do you think?
Yeah, let us know.
In the comments below. Do tell us, what do you think? Would you rather be a Sith? Would you rather be a Jedi? What's the upsides of being a Sith? What's the downsides of being a Jedi, or vice versa? Likewise with Han Solo, what do you think is going to happen with that movie? And do you think there's good things ahead, or do you think it's all doomed from now on? Please do comment below. And when you do comment, remember to like the video.
That's right. And you can also come and subscribe to our channel. When you do, click on that little bell icon, and that means you'll get notified every time we release a new video. We've got videos coming out all the time, be it Hell No videos or our trailer reactions. We just, was it yesterday?
Yeah, we did the
new Explore Some Spoilers.
It's been a while.
With Rob Johnson and Stu Grant for Spider-Man Homecoming. And we had a little bit of a split in the camp.
We did. It was like this side.
Yeah, not the way that you would normally imagine the split to be as well. It was very interesting. So we've got all of those on there as well. And obviously you can join us on a 7 o'clock on a Thursday on our Facebook page for the Pancast movie show.
The Pancast movie show.
Where hopefully Neil will not.
Anyway, so it's been lovely to see you.
Two things. So there you go. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you again next week. That was a bit of a bumper episode. We've got to get rid of the information from last week. We'll see you all again next week for episode 40.
Oh, anniversary time.
Anniversary time. So may the force be with you all.
Way.
Boo.